Hi guys, this is Wendy Vann,
And I'm Alex Vann.
and today we're going to do a short video on a core concept that Alex has always grown up knowing and putting into practice. So when Alex was a little kid, he always talked about, it seemed like an imaginary world that he was in. He would draw, create out of paper or pipe cleaners these incredible creatures, and they all had names, and they acted a certain way, and those kinds of people were actually a past life he was remembering. And there were four main concepts that this group of people lived by. And so we are currently writing that book. We hope to, publish that this year in 2022. So that book will be coming out. So we're going to make some videos about these core concepts. We are going to spend lots of time talking about that over the next several months, but we wanted to do some intro videos just to give everyone like a glimpse of what that core concept means. And so the first one is called all is equal. And this core concept is really the cornerstone on which all the others are built. And it's about acceptance. Not only acceptance for other people, but ourselves, because sometimes we're not very good about that. And so accepting all parts of ourselves and accepting others as equal. So Alex is going to explain more about what that core concept means, and we'll talk about a few things.
All is equal. Its focus is on acceptance. Acceptance is a factor that runs throughout all the four of the core concepts that the society runs by. But all is equal focuses around it in the idea of acceptance for the purpose of allowance, for the purpose of allowance of respect, for the purpose of allowance for acknowledgement, for inclusion. Inclusion on all levels of society. It is a valuing of everything that is done and all the people involved, including yourself. And it is the first concept taught because it has to be the first concept taught, because the rest of them rely heavily on you knowing your innate value and you knowing where you stand with others and how you want to help others, which has to start with your innate worth.
Okay, so let me see if I get it right. The core concept at its heart is acceptance of self and others. And in that is really this valuing and respect of life. Okay?
It is to hold dear life in its totality, including your own.
So even if it's someone that drives you crazy and you kind of think they're less than, it's really about accepting even that part.
Yes, we definitely back then drove each other crazy. So that society was very warlike, and this was a big concept for us to get to stop a lot of that and focus around what to do going forward.
So how did that accepting of each other as valuable and being respectful to each other help you with connection? How does that play into it?
For those new to this is me processing information.
Many times when we're working with people, then at this point, a lot of times I will help them with really understanding what they're wanting to clarify, and he's collecting the information. When he was younger, I could tell the difference because there's a change in his eyes, and he begins to have wisdom that was far more advanced than his years. And over time, it was something I really came to trust. And connection is super important. It is easy for us to feel disconnected from each other and to say, oh, the problems those people have over there are not my problems. Or it might be feeling very isolated in a world that has billions of people. So how do we connect with each other? And before we can even connect with each other, we have to understand each other. We have to accept each other in some form.
I think it lands in 2 points. It always has to start with the self.
Mm-hmm.
What we had to learn to do right off the bat is take responsibility for our own actions. When you make a choice, when you do anything in life, it has a profound effect on those around you, and especially if that choice is one of violence and pain. So we had to learn first to take responsibility, and second, in taking responsibility, we learned the full ramifications of what happened, how our choice affected those around us, and the people that were hurt because of it, or helped because of it. And you learn to see that your effect is great no matter what you're doing. And it wasn't that we learned how to start approaching each other with this reverence and respect for that person's choices, that person's space, that person's wants.
So even if you didn't agree, you had the respect that they were making the choices needed for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And there was a sort of policy that ended up being put in place where there was interference only when it would go so far as we had before.
When someone tried to hurt themselves or someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So help someone out there who may be saying that they're in that space where it's really difficult for them to love and accept their own self. And so they can't even see what that means to accept someone that may be like-minded with them, and then even further out can't see accepting someone who disagrees with them. So if there's just starting out and they have a lot of issues with accepting who they are, maybe they've had a past that they feel like it was poor choices, growing up, or what people call mistakes, which are really just missed opportunities in learning. And so what is it that a person could start with in just accepting their journey, their self?
So I would say the start is definitely the fact that your journey, this is going to sound counterintuitive, doesn't have to do with other people. the first step of really going into that is stepping away from people and going, these are my feelings. Yes, someone else may have caused the event that propped these up in me, but I ultimately had the decision whether these were here. And this hurt, this pain, this injustice, this was my choice. And I have responsibility over this. And that you don't have to hold on to that. You don't have to be the one to champion that cause. Now, are there causes worth championing? Yes. But those should be championed for the right reasons and in the right mindset.
So in the beginning, really, it's just looking at self. It's an inward journey of saying, what in my life have I learned, even through the difficult moments? And in that process, can I accept all parts of me? The parts that I like and the parts that I may not like, because they're all you. It is all one. All those parts are still your journey.
Mm-hmm.
And so loving even the parts you don't like about yourself is really important to give yourself a good foundation. And probably why this concept is such a cornerstone. Because until that happens, it's really hard to reach out and connect with others and accept them for who they are.
In a certain sense, it's the idea of you have all these puzzle pieces that are sitting around and you're focusing on each individual piece, and until you put the puzzle together and look at it as a whole, you're not going to get very far because you're not seeing the whole picture of yourself. So you're not seeing all the small intricacies that make you worthy and make you the ones that people care about, the ones that people go to extents to help. And in that moment of focusing on these individual moments and traumas, you cannot see your value in other people's eyes and cannot build value in your own.
Yeah. It is quite a journey. And so that is what we hope to kind of accomplish with a lot of these videos and books and other things that we're going to be doing, is to really help others begin this journey. And it's definitely an inward journey. It's the inward journey of acceptance of self. And it is a wonderful journey. I won't say it's easy, because when you have to really look at some hard issues, it's tough, but it is worthwhile because it is life-changing. And so we hope you enjoy this video. You guys can send us questions. You can definitely messaging us with different kinds of questions, or even posting if you feel comfortable in that, if you have a question. And we will be providing videos. Our goal is to provide every week a video for people to kind of look at. And then in a couple months, when we kind of have a different setup, we're going to be doing some live streaming so we can ask questions answer questions more directly then. So we hope you enjoyed this, and come back and join us in the next video, which is about all has reason. Thank you.